Distinguished citizens of Titipu, let me remind you of what has already occurred. Nanki-Poo has fled from the court of his father, the Mikado of Japan, to escape marriage with an elderly, hideous lady named Katasha. Disguised as a musician, he has fallen in love with the fair maiden Yum-Yum. However, Yum-Yum's guardian, Coco, has forbidden Nanki-Poo to marry her, as Coco wishes to marry Yum-Yum himself. Coco, however, has been condemned to death for flirting, and when Act 1 opens, we see Nanki-Poo on the way to the court of Coco to see whether he is now able to marry Yum-Yum.
Gentlemen, I pray you tell me where a gentle maiden dwelleth named Yum-Yum. The word of Coco, in pity speak, oh speak, I pray you.
Why, who are you who ask this question?
Come gather round me, and I'll tell you. A wandering minstrel, I, a thing of shreds and patches, of ballad songs and snatches, and dreamy lullaby. My catalogue is long through every passion raging, and to your humors changing, I tune my supple song, I tune my supple song. Are you in sentimental mood? sorrow, sorrow. I'll charm your willing ears with songs of lovers' fears, while sympathetic tears my cheeks bedew. Oh, sorrow, sorrow. But if patriotic sentiment is wanted, I'll patriotic ballads cut and write, for where'er our country's banner may be planted, all other local banners are defied. Our warriors in serried ranks assembled, never quail if they conceal it if they do. And I shouldn't be surprised if nations tremble before the mighty troops, the troops of Titipu.
We shouldn't be surprised if nations tremble, tremble with the Lord, before the mighty troops, the troops of Titipu.
And if you call for a song of the sea, we'll heave the capstan round, with a yo-heave-ho for the wind is free, her anchors are trip and her helms a lee, hurrah for the homeward bound.
Yo-ho, heave-ho, hurrah for the homeward bound.
To lay aloft in a howling breeze may tickle a landsman's taste, but the happiest hour a sailor sees is when he's down at an inland town with his Nancy on his knees. Yo-ho! And his arm around her waist.
Then and the capstan off we go as a fiddler swings us round, with a yo-heave-ho and a rum below, hurrah for the homeward bound, with a yo-heave-ho and a rum below. Yo-ho, heave-ho, yo-ho, heave-ho, 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 yo-ho.
A wandering minstrel I, a thing of shreds and patches, of ballad songs and snatches, and dreamy lullaby, and dreamy lullaby. Lullaby.
And, what may be your business with Yum Yum?
I'll tell you. A year ago, I was a member of the Titipu Town Band. It was my duty to take the cap round for collections. One day, while discharging this delicate office, I happened to see Yum Yum, and we loved each other at once. But she was betrothed to her guardian, Coco, the cheap tailor, and I saw that my suit was hopeless. Overwhelmed with despair, I quitted the town. Judge of my delight when I heard that her guardian was to be condemned to death for flirting. I hurried back at once, hoping to find Yum Yum at liberty to hear my protestations.
It is true that Coco was condemned to death for flirting, but was reprieved at the last moment and raised to the exalted rank of Lord High Executioner through the following remarkable circumstances. A great Mikado, virtuous man, when he to rule our land began, resolved to try a plan whereby young men might best be steadied. So he decreed in words succinct that all who flirted, leered or winked, unless connubially linked, should forthwith be beheaded, 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 forthwith be beheaded. And I expect that you'll agree that he was right to so decree. And I am right and you are right, and all is right as right can be.
And you are right and we are right, and all is right as right can be.
And all is right as right can be, right as right can be. This stern decree, you'll understand, caused great dismay throughout the land, for young and old and shy and bold were equally affected. The youth who winked a roving eye or breathed an unconnubial sigh was thereupon condemned to die. He usually objected. He usually objected. And you'll allow, as I expect, that he was right to so object. And I am right, and you are right, and everything is quite correct.
And you are right, and we are right, and everything is quite correct.
And everything is quite correct. All is quite correct. And so we straight let out on bail a convict from the county jail, whose head was next on some pretext condemned to be mown off, and made him headsman, for we said, who's next to be decapitated cannot cut off another's head until he's cut his own off, his own off, his own off, until he's cut his own off. And we are right, I think you'll say, to argue in this kind of way. And I am right, and you are right, and all is right to the hurrah-lay.
And you are right, and we are right, and all is right to the hurrah-lay.
And I am right, and you are right, and all is right.
Coco, the chief tailor, is now Lord High Executioner of Tittipoo? Why, that is the highest rank a citizen can possibly attain.
It is. Our logical Mikado, seeing no moral difference between the dignified judge who condemns a criminal to die and the industrious mechanic who carries out the sentence, has rolled the two offices into one, and every judge is now his own executioner.
But how good of you, sir, for I see that you are a nobleman of highest rank, obviously, to concede such information to me, a mere strolling musician.
Don't mention it. I am a particularly haughty and exclusive individual of preadamant ancestral descent. You will understand this when I tell you that I can trace my ancestry back to a protoplasmal, primordial, atomic globule. Consequently, my family pride is something inconceivable. I can't help it. I was born sneering. But I struggle hard to overcome this defect. I mortify my pride continually. When all the great high officers of the state resigned in a body because they were too proud to serve under an ex-tailor, did they not unhesitatingly accept all their posts at once?
And their salaries attached to them? You did.
It is, consequently, my degrading duty to serve this upstart as First Lord of the Treasury, Lord Chief Justice, Commander-in-Chief, Lord High Admiral, Master of the Buckhounds, Groom of the Backstairs, Archbishop of Tittipoo, Chief Rabbi, and Lord Mayor, both acting and elect, and at a salary of Pooh-Bah paid for his services. I, a salaried minion, but I do it. It revolts me, but I do it.
And it obviously does you credit.
But I don't stop at that. I go and dine with the middle-class people on reasonable terms. I dance at cheap suburban parties for a moderate fee. I also accept refreshment at any hand, however lowly. I also retail state secrets. For instance, any further information about Yum Yum
Yes?
would come under the head of the state secret. Another insult, and I think a light one. Young man despair, likewise go to Yum Yum the fair. You must not woo, it will not do. I'm sorry for you, you very imperfect ablutioner. This very day from school, Yum Yum will wend her way and homeward come with beats of drum and a rum-tum-tum to wed the Lord High Executioner. And the brass will crash, and the trumpets bray, and the cup to dash on their wedding day. She'll toddle away as all over with the Lord High Executioner.
And the brass will crash, and the trumpets bray, and the cards will dash on their wedding day.
She'll toddle away as all over with the Lord High Executioner. It's a hopeless case, as you may see, and in your place, away I flee. But don't blame me, I'm sorry to be of your pleasure a diminutioner. They'll vow their pact extremely soon. In point of fact, this afternoon, her honeymoon with that buffoon at 7 commences, so you shun her. And the brass will crash, and the trumpets bray, and the cups will dash on her wedding day. She'll toddle away as all other with the Lord High Executioner.
And the brass will crash, and the trumpets bray, and the cards will dash on their wedding day.
She'll toddle away as all other with the Lord High Executioner.
Have I journeyed for a month or nearly to learn that Yum Yum, whom I love so dearly, this day to Coco is to be united.
The fact appears to be as you've recited. But here he comes, equipped as suits his station. He'll give you any further information.
taken from the county jail by a set of curious chances, liberated then on bail, on my own recognizances, wafted by a favoring gale, as one sometimes is in trances, to a height that few can scale, save by long and weary dances, surely never had a male, under such like circumstances, so adventurous a tale, which may rank with most romances, taken from the county jail, by a set of curious chances, surely never had a male, so adventurous a tale.
He burned to the Lord High Executioner. He burned to the noble Lord, High Executioner. Bow down to the Lord High Executioner. He burned to the noble Lord, the High Executioner.
Gentlemen, I am much touched by this reception, and I can only trust that by strict attention to duty, I shall ensure a continuance of those duties which it will ever be my study to deserve. And I am sure that if I'm ever called upon to act professionally, that there will be no difficulty in finding plenty of people whose loss will be a distinct gain to society at large. As someday it may happen that a victim must be found, I've got a little list of society offenders who might well be underground and who never would be missed. They never would be missed. There's the pestilential nuisances who write for autographs, all people who have flabby hands and irritating laughs, all children who are up in dates and floor you with them flat, all persons who in shaking hands shake hands with you like that, and all third persons who on spoiling tete-a-tetes insist. They'd none of them be missed. They'd none of them be missed.
He's got them on the list. He's got them on the list, and they'll none of them be missed. They'll none of them be missed.
There's the people with pretentious names like Amy, Jen, and Brad, the fat proctologist. I've got him on the list. All gents who write on bathroom walls experiences they've had. They'd none of them be missed. They'd none of them be missed. The folks who lose their money every time the dice is tossed. Neanderthals who bench and lift and then go play lacrosse. High school newspaper editors and those who do their work. The over-emoting singer with his pestilential smirk. And the placidly annoying Time Life Books receptionist. I don't think she'd be missed. I know she'd not be missed.
He's got them on the list. He's got them on the list, and they'll none of them be missed. They'll none of them be missed.
The folks who sell at lunchtime shirts you're never going to wear. The gynecologist, I've got him on the list. Salesgirls who blind you with perfume and never seem to care. The freelance columnist, I'm sure he'd go unmissed. There's the girls who do their girl talk through communicative eyes. All people who get their own way each time they start to cry. All people who think that their way's the way to do it best. All girls who wear rings in their nose and also through their feet. And those in present company whose names I've somehow missed. You're probably on the list. You're somewhere on the list.
You may put them on the list. You may put them on the list. And they'll none of them be missed. They'll none of them be missed.
On his way to Tippy-Poo, Nanky-Poo meets Pooh-Bah and Pish-Tush. Pooh-Bah is a corrupt and proud public official, and Pish-Tush is a nobleman. From them, Nanky-Poo learns that the Mikado also Lord High Executioner, preventing his decapitation from being carried out. In fact, Coco is scheduled to marry Yum Yum that very afternoon.
Pooh-Bah, it seems that the festivities in regarding my wedding must last a week. I should like to do it handsomely, and I thought I'd consult you as to the amount I ought to spend upon them.
And certainly, in which of my capacities, as First Lord of the Treasury, Lord Chief Justice, Chancellor of the Exchequer, Chief Rabbi, or Privy Purse, Private Secretary, or, which one?
President of the Hair Club for Men?
He is not here tonight.
Suppose we say as private secretary.
Oh, speaking as your private secretary, I should say that if the city will have to pay for it, don't stint yourself. Do it well.
Exactly, as the city will have to pay for it. That is your advice?
As private secretary, of course you will understand that as Chancellor of the Exchequer, I am bound to see that due economy is observed.
But you said just now, don't stint yourself. Do it well.
As private secretary.
And now you say that due economy must be observed?
As Chancellor of the Exchequer.
I see. Let's come over here where the Chancellor can't hear us. Now then, as my solicitor, how do you advise me?
Oh, as your solicitor, I should have no hesitation in saying, chance it.
Thank you. I will.
But if it were not that, as Lord Chief Justice, I am bound to see that the law isn't violated.
I see. Let's come over here, where the Lord Chief Justice can't hear us. Now then, as First Lord of the Treasury...
Oh, as First Lord of the Treasury, I could propose a special vote that would cover all expenses. If it were not that, as leader of my opposition, it would be my duty to resist it, tooth and nail. But then, as Archbishop of Titipu and Chief Rabbi, I could so cook the accounts that as Lord High Auditor I should never discover the fraud. But then, as Archbishop of Titipu, I'd have to denounce my dishonesty and give myself into my own custody as the first commissioner of the police.
That's extremely awkward.
I don't say that all these distinguished people couldn't be squared, but it is right to tell you in their own estimation that they wouldn't be sufficiently degraded unless they are insulted with a very considerable bribe.
The matter shall have my careful consideration. But my bride and her... I said bride, not bride, you idiot. But my bride and her sisters approach, and any small compliment on your part, such as an abject grovel in characteristic Japanese attitude, would be esteemed a favor.
little maids from school are we, pearls of the schoolgirl well can be, filled to the brim with girlish glee. 3 little maids from school, everything is a source of fun. Nobody's safe, but we can't for none. Life is a joke that's just begun. 3 little maids from school. 3 little maids who all unwary come from a lady seminary, free from a genius tutelary. 3 little maids from school. 3 little maids from school. 1 little maid is a bride young. 2 little maids in the dandy come. 3 little maids is a total sum. 3 little maids from school. From 3 little maids take 1 away. 2 little maids remain and play. Won't have to wait very long, they say. 3 little maids from school. 3 little maids from school. 3 little maids who all unwary come from a lady seminary, free from a genius tutelary. 3 little maids from school. 3 little maids from school.
At last, my bride it is to be.
Oh, you're not going to kiss me before all these people.
Well, that was the idea.
It seems odd, doesn't it?
It's rather peculiar.
Oh, I expect it's all right. Must have a beginning, you know. Well, of course I know nothing about these things, but I've no objection if it's usual.
Oh, it's quite usual. Eh, Lord Chamberlain?
I have known it done.
Thank goodness that's over. Oh, I'm so
Tell us all the news because you've been about
everywhere.
everywhere. We've been in the
Right,
Thank goodness that's over now. We've come for good and we're not going back anymore.
I beg your pardon. Will you present me?
Oh, it's only next week.
Well, one at a time, if you please.
Oh, if you please. This is the gentleman who used to play so beautifully on
the Marine Parade.
Yes, I think that was the name of the instrument.
Sir, I have the misfortune to love your ward. Oh, I know I deserve your anger.
Anger! Not a bit, my boy. Why, I love her myself. Pretty eyes, nice hair, good teeth, no plaque. I'm very glad to hear my opinion backed by a competent authority. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Take him away.
I beg your pardon, but what is this? Customer come to try on?
That is a tremendous swell.
It's alive!
Go away, little girls. Can't talk to little girls like you. Go away there, dears.
Allow me to present you, Pooh-Bah. These are my 3 wards. The one in the middle is my bride-elect.
What do you want me to do to them? Mind, I will not kiss them.
No, you shan't kiss them. A little bow, a mere nothing. You needn't mean it, you know.
It goes against the grain. They're not young ladies, they're young persons.
Come. There's a good nobleman. Make an effort.
Well, I shan't mean it. Howdy do, little girls. Howdy do. Oh, my protoplasmal ancestor.
That's very good.
I see nothing to laugh at. It is very painful for me to have to say, howdy do, little girls. Howdy do. I'm not in the habit of saying, howdy do, little girls. Howdy do to anybody under the rank of stockbroker.
Please, try not to laugh at him. He can't help it. He's under treatment for it. Pay no attention to them. They know nothing of the delicacy of your position.
And we know how delicate it is, don't we?
I should think we did. How a nobleman of your importance can do it at all is a thing I never can, never shall understand.
So please do so we much regret if we have failed in etiquette. Towards a man of rank so high, we shall know better by and by. But youth, of course, must have its fling, so pardon us, so pardon us. And don't in girlhood's happy spring be hard on us, be hard on us, if we're inclined to dance and sing tra-la-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la. But youth, of course, must have its fling, so pardon us, and don't in girlhood's happy spring be hard on us. Youth, of course, must have its fling, so pardon us, tra-la-la-la-la-la-la, 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 tra-la-la-la-la-la-la.
I think you want to recollect, you cannot show too much respect towards a highly titled you, but nobody does, and why should you? That youth at us should have its fling is hard on us, is hard on us, to our prerogative we cling, so pardon us, if we decline to dance and sing tra-la-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la-la.
But youth, of course, must have its fling, so pardon us, and don't in girlhood's happy spring be hard on us. But youth, of course, must have its fling, so pardon us, tra-la-la-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la-la-la,
Yum. At last we are alone. I have sought you night and day for 3 weeks in the belief that your guardian was to be beheaded. And now I come to find that you're to be married to him this very afternoon?
Alas, yes.
But you do not love him.
Alas, no.
My fine rapture. But then why do you not refuse him?
What good would that do? He's my guardian, and he wouldn't let me marry you.
But you know that I would wait until you were of age.
You forget that in Japan, girls do not arrive at years of discretion until they are 50.
True, years from 17 to 49 are considered years of indiscretion.
Besides, a wandering minstrel who plays a wind instrument outside tea houses is hardly a fitting husband for the lord of a Lord High Executioner.
But what if... Shall I tell her? Yes, she'll not betray me. What if it should prove that, after all, I am no musician?
There! I was certain of it, directly I heard you play.
What if it should prove that I am none other than the son of His Majesty the Mikado?
The son of the Mikado? But why is your highness disguised? And what has your highness done? And will your highness promise never to do it again?
Some years ago, I had the misfortune to captivate Kershaw, an elderly lady of my father's court. She misconstrued my customary affability for expressions of affection. She then claimed me in marriage under my father's own law. My father, being the Lucius Junius Brutus of his race, ordered me to marry her within a week, or perish ignominiously by the scaffold. That night, I fled his court, and assuming the disguise of a second trombone, I joined the band in which you found me, where I had the pleasure of seeing you again.
Oh, if you please, I think your highness had better not come too near. The laws against flirting are excessively
Yes, but we're quite alone and nobody can see us.
Still, that doesn't make it right. To flirt is capital.
It is capital.
And we must obey the law.
Do state the law.
I wish it would, but it won't.
If it weren't for that law, just how happy we might be right now.
Happy indeed.
If it weren't for that law, we should be standing side by side. Like that.
Instead of being obliged to stand half a mile off. Like that.
We should be gazing deeply into one another's eyes. Like that.
Breathing sighs of unutterable love. Oh, like that.
With our arms around each other's waists. Like that.
Yes, if it wasn't for the law.
If it weren't for the law.
As it is, of course, we couldn't do anything of the kind.
Not for worlds.
Being engaged to Coco, you know.
Yes. Being engaged to Coco. Were you not to Coco plighted, I would say in tender tone, loved one, let us be united, let us be each other's own. I would merge all rank and station, worldly sneers are not to us, and to mark my admiration, I will kiss you fondly thus. I would kiss you fondly thus.
But as I'm engaged to Coco, to embrace you thus confoco, would distinctly be you Choco, and for that I should get Toco.
Toco, 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 so in spite of all temptation, such a theme I'll not discuss, and on no consideration will I kiss you fondly thus. Will I kiss you fondly thus? Let me make it clear to you, this is what I'll never do. This, oh this, oh this, oh this, this is what I'll never, never do. This, oh this, oh this, oh this, this is what I'll never do. I'll never do. Oh this, this is what I'll never, never do.
Coco is very excited about his upcoming wedding when he suddenly receives a letter from the Mikado. The Mikado is stunned by the fact that no executions have taken place in Titipu in the last year, and decrees that if somebody is not executed within 1 month, Coco's position of Lord High Executioner will be abolished, and the city will be reduced to the rank of a village. Determined not to lose his position, Coco is in a quandary to find someone to execute. He meets Nankipu, who is struck on suicide because he cannot marry his true love Yum Yum, and the two set up a plan. Coco will give Nankipu the right to marry Yum Yum for 1 month. However, at the end of the month, Nankipu will be the subject for the public execution.
There she goes. To think how entirely my future happiness is wrapped in that tiny little parcel. Really, it hardly seems worth it. Oh, matrimony. Now then, what is it? Can't you see I'm soliloquizing? You have interrupted an apostrophe, sir.
I am the bearer of a letter from His Majesty, the Mikado.
Mikado.
A letter from the Mikado? Why, what in the world could he have to say to me?
Well, what does it say?
Pish-tush, I've excellent news. It seems you may have already won 10 million yen.
Wrong letter, wrong letter. Yeah. What does that one say?
I don't know. This one's in Japanese. Ah. Here it is at last. I feared this would come sooner or later. The Mikado is struck by the fact that no executions have taken place in Titipu for over a year, and he decrees that unless someone is beheaded within 1 month, the post of Lord High Executioner shall be abolished, and the city reduced to the rank of a village.
But that will involve us all in irretrievable ruin.
Yes, I see no help for it. Someone will have to be beheaded at once. The only question is, who shall it be?
Well, it seems unkind to say so, but as you're already under sentence of death for flirting, everything seems pointed to you.
To me? But what are you talking about? I can't execute myself.
Why not?
Why not? Well, because, in the first place, self-decapitation is an extremely difficult, not to mention dangerous thing to attempt. And in the second, it's suicide, and suicide is a capital offense.
That is so, no doubt.
We might reserve that point.
True, it could be argued 6 months hence before the full court.
Besides, I don't see how a man can cut off his own head.
A man might try.
Even if you only succeeded in cutting it half off, that would be something.
It would be taken as an earnest of your attempt to comply with the imperial will.
No, pardon me, but there I am adamant. As official headsman, my reputation is at stake, and I can't consent to embark on a professional operation unless I see my way to a successful result.
This professional conscientiousness is highly credible to you, but it places us in a very awkward position.
My good sir, the awkwardness of your position is grace itself, compared with that of a man engaged in the act of cutting off his own head.
I'm afraid that unless you can obtain a substitute...
A substitute? Oh, certainly, nothing easier. Poobah, I appoint you Lord High Substitute.
Certainly, I should be delighted. Such an appointment would realize my fondest dreams. But no, at any sacrifice I must set bounds to my insatiable ambition. I am so proud if I allowed my family pride to be my guide. I volunteer to quit this sphere instead of you in a minute or two. But family pride must be denied and set aside and mortified and mortified.
My brain it teems with endless schemes, both good and new for Titipu, for Titipu. But if I flit the benefit that I diffuse, the town would lose. Now every man to aid his clan should plot and plan as best he can.
I heard one day a gentleman say that criminals who are cut in two can hardly feel the fatal steel, and so are slain without much pain. If this is true, it's jolly for you, your courage crew, to bid us adieu.
I am so proud.
My brain it
Fire.
I heard one day a gentleman say that
good for titty, but if I pick the benefit that I did bring the town much good. Now every man to aid his clan should plot to plan as best he can. And so, although I'm ready to go, yet recollect her disrespected, I neglect to thus effect this aim direct. So I object.
And so, although I wish to go, and greatly pine to brightly shine, to take the line of a hero fine with grief condign, I must decline.
And go and show both friend and foe how much you dare, I'm quite aware. Yet I declare it's your affair. I take your share, but I don't much care.
I must.
So I
I
object.
take your share, but I don't
So I
care.
object.
I take your share, but I don't
So I
care.
object.
take your share, but I don't
So I object. So I object. So I object. To sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock, in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper on a big black block. To sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock, in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper on a big black block. A dull, dark dock, a lifelong lock, a short, sharp shock, a big black block. To sit in solemn silence in a pestilential prison and awaiting a sensation from a cheap and chippy chopper on a big black block. Well, this is simply appalling. I, who have allowed myself to be respited at the last moment, only to benefit my native town, must now die in a month's time, and that at the hands of a man whom I've loaded with honors. Is this public gratitude? Is this... Go away, sir. How dare you?
I'll go on. Don't mind me.
What are you doing with that rope?
I am going to terminate an unendurable existence.
Nonsense. What for?
Because you are going to marry the girl that I adore.
Nonsense. I won't permit it. I am a humane man, and if you attempt anything of the kind, I shall order your instant arrest. Come, sir, desist at once, or I summon my guard.
That's absurd. If you raise an alarm, I commit the happy dispatch instantly with this dagger.
No, don't do that. This is horrible. Why, you cold-blooded scoundrel, do you realize that in killing yourself, you are committing a crime which... substitute!
What's the matter?
Is it absolutely certain that you're resolved to die?
Absolutely.
Will nothing shake your resolution?
Nothing.
Threats, entreaties, prayers, all useless?
All. My mind is made up.
Then, if you mean what you say, and if you are absolutely resolved to die, and if nothing will shake your resolution, then why spoil yourself by committing suicide and be beheaded handsomely at the hands of the public executioner?
But I do not see how that would benefit me.
You don't? Observe. You will have a month to live, and you'll live like a fighting cock at my expense. Then, when the day finally comes, there will be a grand public ceremonial. Bands, dead marches, bells tolling, all the girls in tears. Yum distracted. And you'll be the central figure. And believe me, no one will attempt to deprive you of that distinction. Anyway, as I was saying, there will be bands, bells tolling, yum in tears, and then when it's finally over, a grand display of fireworks. You won't be there to see them, but they will be there nevertheless.
Do you really think that Yum will be depressed by my death?
I am certain of it. She's the most tender-hearted creature alive.
True, I should hate to cause her pain. Perhaps if I withdrew from Japan and traveled through Europe for a few years, I might contrive to forget her.
Oh, I don't think you could forget Yum that easily. And besides, what is more miserable than love-blighted life?
True.
Life without Yum-Yum. Why, it seems absurd.
And yet there are a good many people in the world who manage it.
Yes, poor devils. And you're quite right not to be of their number.
And I won't be of their number.
Noble fellow.
I'll tell you how we'll do it. You allow me to marry Yum-Yum tomorrow, and in 1 month's time, you may behead me.
No. I draw the line at Yum-Yum.
Very well, then. If you can draw the line at Yum-Yum, so can I.
No, stop. Be reasonable. How can I consent to your marrying Yum-Yum when I'm going to marry her myself?
My good fellow, she'll be a widow in a month, and you'll be perfectly free to marry her then.
Yes, I quite see that, but my position during that month will be most unpleasant. Most unpleasant.
Not half as unpleasant as my position will be at the end of it.
I see your point, but, well, dear me, I agree. After all, it's only putting off my wedding for 1 month. But you won't prejudice her against me, will you? You see, I've educated Yum-Yum to be my wife. She's been taught to regard me as a noble and upright citizen. I shouldn't like to see her views on that point disturbed.
Trust me, she shall never learn the truth from me.
There is rejoicing in Titty-Poo, for the problem seems to have been solved, or at least for the moment. However, Kadisha, whom Nanki-Poo was supposed to marry, arrives in search of the vanished object of her affections. She is driven away, but threatens to go to the Mikado about the matter.
With aspects stern and gloomy stride, we come to learn how you decide. Don't hesitate, your choice to make. A dreadful fate, you'll suffer all the same. A dreadful fate, you'll suffer all the same.
To ask you what you mean to do, we punctually appear.
Congratulate me, gentlemen, I've found a volunteer.
The Japanese equivalent for here.
'Tis Nanki-Poo,
Hail Nanki-Poo.
I think he'll do.
Yes, you'll do.
He yields his life if I'll Yum-Yum surrender. Now I adore that girl with passion tender, and could not yield her with a ready will, or her a lot, if I did not adore myself with passion tender still, with passion tender still.
Ah, yes, he loves himself with passion tender still.
Take her, she's yours.
The threatened cloud has passed away. What though the night may come too soon? Then let the throng joy advance with laughing song and merry dance. Then let the throng joy advance with laughing song and merry dance. With laughing song and merry dance. With laughing song.
like eventide comes much too soon. Then let the throng adore and dance with laughing song and merry dance. And let the throng adore and dance with laughing song and merry dance. With laughing song and merry dance. With laughing song. With joyous shout, and ringing cheer, inaugurate Every garden. With joyous shout and ringing cheer, inaugurate every garden. With joyous shout and ringing cheer, inaugurate every garden. In song, merry dance, with laughing song and merry dance. As in a month you've got to die, if Coco tells us true, 'twere empty compliment to cry, long life to Nanky Poo. But as 1 month you'll have to live as fellow citizen, this toast with 3 times 3 will give long life to you, long life to you, long life to you, till then. May all good fortune prosper you. May you have health, and riches. May all good fortune prosper you. May you succeed in riches. May you succeed in all you do. Long life to you till then. Why with its evil eyes may bite on our festivities?
I claim my perjured lover, Nanky Poo. Oh, fool to shun delights that never climb.
So leave thy deadly work undone.
Come back, oh shallow fool, come back to joy.
Away, away, ill-favored one.
Ah, 'tis Katisha, the maid of whom I told you.
No, you shall not go, these arms shall thus enfold you. Oh, fool that flitst my hollow joy, oh, blind that seest no equipoise, oh, rash that judges from half the whole, oh, base that grudges love's lightest dole, thy heart unbind, oh, fool, oh, blind, give me my place, oh, rash, oh, base, thy doom is nigh, thy knell is rung, pink cheek, bright eye, rose lips, smooth tongue, thy doom is nigh, thy knell is rung.
Hear to her tell, thy knell is rung. Pink cheek, bright eye, rose lip, smooth tongue.
Pink cheek that rulest where wisdom serves, bright eye that fullest heroic nerves, rose lip that scornest Latin years, smooth tongue that warnest who brightly hears, thy doom is nigh, pink cheek, bright eye, thy knell
yum.
Your anger pray bury, for all will be merry. I think you had better succumb.
Come.
And join our expressions of plea. On this subject I pray you be dumb.
Dum.
You'll find there are many who went for a penny. The word for your guidance is mum.
Mum.
There's lots of good fish in the sea.
On this subject we pray you be dumb. We think you had better succumb. Come. You'll find there are many who wait for a penny, There are lots of good fish in the sea. There's lots of good fish in the sea. There's lots of good fish in the sea.
The hour of gladness is dead and gone. In silent sadness I live alone. The hope I cherish, a lifeless life, and all has perished, save love, which never dies, which never dies. Oh, faithless one, this insult you shall rue. In vain for mercy, on your knees you'll sue. I'll tear the mouth from your disguising.
Now comes the blow.
Prepare yourself for new surprising.
I'll foil my foe.
No minstrel he, despite bravado.
I know.
He's the son of your In vain you interrupt with this tornado. He is the only son of your I'll spoil your gay gambado. He is the son of your the son of your Ye torrents roar, ye tempests howl, your wrath outpour with angry growl. Do ye your once my vengeance call, shall rise triumphant over all.
We'll hear no more ill omen down. To joy we soar despite your scout. The echoes of our festival shall rise triumphant over all.
Prepare for war, ye haughty lords. At once I go, Mikado war.
Away you go, collect your voice, proclaim your woe in dismal noise.
For joy reigns everywhere around. For joy reigns everywhere around. The echoes of our festival shall rise triumphant.
Despite the scout.
Shall rise triumphant over all. Triumphant over all. Shall rise triumphant over
Yum Yum preparing to marry Nankaku. The town sings a merry madrigal when Coco appears with some rather upsetting news. He has just discovered a law stating that when a married man is executed, his wife must be buried alive. To save Yum Yum from this terrible fate, Nankaku relinquishes his claim to Yum Yum. But fierce and bold and fiery cold, he glories
Yes, everything seems to smile upon me. I'm to be married today to the man I love best, and I believe I'm the happiest girl in Japan.
The happiest girl indeed, for she is indeed to be envied who has attained happiness in all but perfection.
In all but perfection?
Well, dear, it cannot be denied that the fact that your husband is to be beheaded in a month is in its way a drawback. It does seem to take the top off it, you know.
Oh, I don't know about all that. It all depends.
At all events, he will find it a drawback.
Not necessarily.
But you,
Bless you. It all depends.
I think it very indelicate of you to refer to such a subject on such a day, even if my married happiness is to be
Cut short.
Oh, well, cut short in a month. Can't you let me forget it?
Yum Yum in tears? And on her wedding morn?
Nathan reminded me that in a month you're to be beheaded.
Yes, we've been reminding her that you're to be beheaded.
It's quite true, you know. You are to be beheaded.
Now, some bridegrooms might be depressed by this sort of thing. But what's a month? These divisions of time are purely arbitrary. Who's to say 24 hours make a day?
Well, there is a popular impression to that effect.
Then really face it. We'll call each second a minute, each minute an hour, each hour a day, and each day a year. At that rate, we have approximately 30 years of married happiness ahead of us.
And at that rate, this interview has already lasted 4 hours and 3/4. It's time for tea.
Yes, how time flies when one is thoroughly enjoying oneself.
There, that's the way to look at it. Don't let's be downhearted. After all, there's a silver lining to every cloud.
Certainly. Let's be perfectly happy.
By all means, let's thoroughly enjoy ourselves.
It's absurd to cry. Quite ridiculous. Brightly dawns our wedding day.
Joyous are we, give thee greeting. Whither art thou fleeting? Fickle moment, prithee stay. Fickle moment, prithee stay.
All must sip the cup of sorrow.
Pleasures come if sorrows follow.
Though the tocsin sound their long ding till the shadows fall over one and over all.
Sing a merry madrigal.
Sing a merry madrigal. Sing a merry madrigal. La 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 la. Surely creeping, little need for woeful weeping, till the sad sundown is near, till the sad sundown is near.
What though mortal joys be hollow?
I today am
the close of every song. This the close of every song, every song.
Ding dong, ding dong. What though solemn shadows fall, sooner later overhaul. Sing a merry madrigal, sing a merry madrigal. La 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 la
Oh, go on. Don't mind me.
No, I'm afraid we are distressing you.
No, I must learn to get used to it. Only please, do it by degrees. Begin by putting your arm around her waist.
Like that?
There, let me get used to that first.
Oh, wouldn't you like to retire? It must pain you to see us so affectionate together.
No, I must learn to bear it. Now, oblige me by allowing her head to rest on your shoulder.
Like that?
I am much obliged to you. Now, kiss her. Thank you. It's simple torture.
Come, come, bear up. After all, it's only for a month.
No, it's no use deluding oneself with false hopes.
What do you mean?
My poor child, how shall I break this to her? My little bride that was to have been.
Was to have been?
Yes, you can never be mine.
I'm
What?
so glad.
Yes. Yes, you see, I've just ascertained that by the Mikado's law, when a married man is beheaded, his wife is buried alive.
Buried alive?
Buried alive. It is a most unpleasant death.
But whom did you get that from?
Oh, from Pooh-Bah. He's my solicitor.
But he may be mistaken.
So I thought, so I consulted the Master of the Rolls, the Lord High Admiral, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, the Lord Chief Justice, and the Chief Commissioner of Police. And they're all of the same opinion. Never knew such unanimity on a point of law in my life.
But stop a bit. That law has never been put in force.
Well, not yet. You see, flirting is the only crime punishable by decapitation. And as you know, married men never flirt.
True, I quite forgot that. Well then, I suppose I may take it that my dream of happiness is at an end.
Darling, I don't want to appear selfish, and I love you with all my heart. I don't suppose I shall ever love anybody else half as much. But when I agreed to marry you, my own, I had no idea, pet, that I should have to be buried alive in a month.
Nor I. This is the very first I've heard of it.
It makes a difference, doesn't it?
It does make a difference, of course.
You see, burial alive, it's such a stuffy death.
It's a beast of a death.
You see my difficulty, don't you?
Yes. And I see my own as well. If I force you to keep your promise, I doom you to a hideous death. If I release you, however, you marry Coco at once.
Here's a howdy-do, if I marry you. When your timers come to perish, then the maiden whom you cherish must be slaughtered too. Here's a howdy-do, here's a howdy-do.
Here's a pretty mess, in a month or less. I must die without a wedding, let the bitter tears I'm shedding witness my distress. Here's a pretty mess, here's a pretty mess.
Here's the state of things, to her life she clings. Matrimonial devotion doesn't seem to suit her notion, burial it brings. Here's the state of things, here's the state of things.
With a passion that's intense, I worship and adore, but the laws of common sense we oughtn't to ignore. If what she says is true, 'tis death to marry you. Here's a pretty state of things, here's a pretty howdy-do. Here's a pretty state of things, a pretty state of things.
Here's a howdy-do,
here's a howdy-do,
here's a howdy-do.
For if what he says is true, I cannot marry you. Here's a pretty, pretty state of things. Here's a pretty howdy-do.
My poor boy, I really am quite sorry for you.
Thanks, old fellow, I'm sure you are.
But you see, I'm quite helpless.
Yes, I quite see that.
I can't think of anything more distressing than to have one's wedding broken off at the last moment. But never mind, you shan't be disappointed of a wedding. You shall come to mine.
Thank you, good sir, that is very kind of you. However, I fear that is quite impossible.
What do you mean?
Today, I die.
Why so?
I tell you, life without Yum Yum, I couldn't bear it. This afternoon, I commit the happy dispatch.
No, I cannot permit that.
And why not?
Why, hang it all, you are under contract to die at the hands of the public executioner. Why, if you kill yourself, what's to become of me? I shall be killed in your place.
Yes, it would certainly seem so.
Still in despair over the loss of Yum Yum, Nankifu has decided to kill himself. Once again, Coco was thrown into a quandary to find someone to execute, especially since the Mikado is on his way to Titipu to see whether his orders have been carried out. Just then, Coco comes up with a plan. He has Puba make a false affidavit that Nankifu has been executed, and orders Nankifu and Yum Yum to leave the country. The Mikado soon appears. Coco thinks the purpose of this visit is to see whether the execution has taken place. He produces the affidavit and describes with gusto the execution. Actually, the Mikado has come in search of his son, who vanished from the court 1 year before.
Now then, Lord Mayor, what is it?
The Mikado and his suite are approaching the city, and will be here in 10 minutes.
The Mikado? He's coming to see whether his orders have been carried out. Now look here, this is getting serious. A bargain's a bargain, and you really mustn't frustrate the ends of justice by committing suicide. As a man of honor and a gentleman, you are bound to die ignominiously at the hands of the public executioner.
Very well, then. Behead me.
What, now?
Certainly, at once.
Chop it off, chop it off.
My good sir, I don't go about prepared to execute gentlemen at a moment's notice. Why, I've never even killed a bluebottle.
Still, as Lord High Executioner...
As Lord High Executioner, I have a month to execute him. I don't know how it's done. I'm going to take lessons. I'd start with a guinea pig and then work my way up through the animal kingdom to a second trombone. Why, as a humane man, you don't suppose I'd have accepted the post of Lord High Executioner if I hadn't thought the duties purely nominal. I can't kill you. I can't kill anything. I can't kill anybody.
Come now, bear up. After all, what is it? If I don't mind, why should you? Remember, sooner or later it must be done.
Must it? I'm not so sure about that.
What do you mean?
Well, why should I execute you? When making an affidavit that I've done so will do just as well. Here are plenty of witnesses. The Lord Chief Justice, Lord High Admiral, Master of the Buckhounds, Groom of the Second Floor Front, Lord High Admiral, and Chief Commissioner of the Police.
But where are they all?
Why, they are right here. You'll all swear to it, won't you?
Am I to understand that all of us high officers of the state are required to perjure ourselves to ensure your safety?
You will be grossly insulted, as usual.
Will the insult be cast down or at the date?
It will be a ready money transaction.
Well, it will be a useful discipline. Choose your fiction and I'll endorse it. Family pride. How do you like that, my buck?
But life without Yum Yum, I tell you that I
Oh, Yum Yum, Yum Yum, bother Yum Yum. Here, Commissioner, go and fetch Yum Yum. Take Yum Yum, marry Yum Yum, and don't ever come Yum back again. Yum Yum, are you busy?
Not particularly.
You've 5 minutes to spare?
Yes.
Then go with His Grace, the Archbishop, and marry Nanki-Poo at once.
But if I'm to be buried alive...
Now, don't ask any questions, and Nanki-Poo will explain everything.
But one moment,
Not
I don't...
for worlds. The Mikado and his suite are approaching, and if he finds you here alive, I shall have the greatest difficulty in convincing him that I've beheaded you. Close thing that, for here he comes.
Bow, bow to his daughter.
Peter Pan exist. To nobody's second, I'm certainly reckon a true philanthropist. It is my very humane endeavor to make to some extent pity their liver a running river of harmless merriment. My object all sublime he will achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make each prisoner pant unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment. For prosy doors, society sinners who chatter and bleed and bore, are said to hear sermons from mystical Germans who preach from 10 till 4. The amateur tenor whose vocal villainies all desire to shirk, shall during off hours exhibit his powers to Madame Toussaint's waxwork. The lady who dyes a chemical yellow or stains her gray hair puce, or pinches her figure is painted with vigor and permanent walnut juice. The idiot who in railway carriages scribbles on window panes, he only suffered to ride on the buffer in parliamentary trains. Trains, ah ha ha, ah ha ha. My object all sublime he will achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make each prisoner pant unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
His object all sublime he will achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make each prisoner pant unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
The advertising quack who wears a pills of countless cures, his teeth I've enacted shall all be extracted by terrified amateurs. The musical singer who tends a series of masses and fugues and hopes, by bulky Tyrolean with sworn Beethoven at classical Monday pops. The bilious sharp who anyone catches his doomed extremely hard, is made to dwell in a dungeon cell on a spot that's always barred. And there he plays extravagant matches in fiddler's finger stalls, on cloth untrue with a twisted cue and elliptical billiard balls. Ah ha ha! Yeah ha! My object all sublime he will achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make each prisoner pant unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
His object all sublime he will achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make each prisoner pant unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
I am honored in being permitted to welcome His Majesty. I guess the object of your visit, the execution has taken place.
Oh, you've had an execution, have you?
Yes, the coroner has just handed me the certificate.
I'm the coroner.
And this is the certificate of his death. At Sittipool, in the presence of the Lord Chancellor, Lord Chief Justice, Attorney General, Secretary of State for the Home Department, Lord Mayor, and groom of the second floor front.
They were all present, Your Majesty. I counted them myself.
Very good house. I wish I could have been in time for the performance.
A tough fellow he was, too. His struggles were something terrific. It really was a remarkable scene.
Ha ha. Describe it.
The criminal cried as he dropped him down in a state of wild alarm. With a frightful, frantic, fearful frown, I bared my big right arm. I seized him by his little pigtail, and on his knees fell he. As he squirmed and struggled and gurgled and goggled, I drew my sneak-a-snee, my sneak-a-snee. Oh, never shall I forget the cry or the shriek that shriek and he, as I gnashed my teeth when from its sheath I drew my snicker-sneak.
You know him well, he cannot tell untrue or groundless tales. He always tries to utter lies, and every time he fails.
He shivered and shook as he gave the sign for the stroke he didn't deserve. When all of a sudden his eyes met mine, and it seemed to raise his nerve. For he nodded his head and kissed his hand, and he whistled and there did he, as the saber true cut cleanly through his cervical vertebrae. His vertebrae. When a man's afraid, a beautiful maid is a cheering sight to see. And it's oh, I'm glad that moment sad was soothed by sight of me.
Her terrible tale you can't assail, the truth is quite a breeze. Her taste exact, for faultless fact amounts to a disease.
Now though you'd had said that head was dead, for its owner dead was he. It stood on its neck with a smile well bred, and it bowed 3 times to me. It was none of your impudent offhand nods, but as humble as could be. For it clearly knew the deference due to a man of pedigree. Of pedigree. Now, was a cheering sight to see. Though childless yet, I couldn't forget this deference due to me.
This haughty youth, he speaks the truth whenever he finds it pays. And in this case, it all took place exactly as he said.
Exactly as
he says.
All of this is definitely very interesting, and I should like to have seen it. But we came about a totally different matter. A year ago, my son, the heir to the throne of Japan, bolted from our imperial court.
Indeed, had he reason to be dissatisfied with his position?
None whatsoever. On the contrary, I was going to marry him. And yet he fled.
I'm surprised that he should have fled from one so lovely.
That's not true.
No?
You hold that I am not beautiful because my face is plain. But you know nothing. You are still unenlightened. Learn, then, that it is not in the face alone that beauty is to be sought. My face is unattractive.
It is.
But I have a left shoulder blade that is a miracle of loveliness. People come from miles to see it. My right elbow has a fascination that few can resist.
Allow me.
It is on view Tuesdays and Thursdays on presentation of a visiting card. As for my circulation, it is the largest in the world.
And yet he fled.
And now is masquerading in this town, disguised as a second trombone.
A second trombone?
Yes. And would it be troubling you too much if I would ask you to produce him? He goes by the name of...
Nanky Poo!
Nanky Poo.
It's quite easy. That is, it's rather difficult. You see, he's gone abroad.
Gone abroad? His address?
Dundalk.
What's the matter?
See here! His name, Nanky Poo, beheaded this morning. Where shall I find another?
Dear, dear, dear. This is very, very tiresome. My poor fellow, in your anxiety to carry out my wishes, you have beheaded the heir to the throne of Japan.
I beg to offer an unqualified apology.
I desire to associate myself with that expression of regret.
We really hadn't the least notion.
Of course you hadn't. How could you? Come, come, my good fellow. Do not distress yourself. The man of exalted rank chooses to disguise himself as a second trombone. He must take the consequences. It really distresses me to see you take on so. I'm sure he thoroughly deserved all he got.
We are much obliged to your majesty.
Very much obliged, Your Majesty.
Very, very much obliged, Your Majesty.
Obliged? Not a bit. Don't mention it. How? How could you tell?
No, of course we couldn't tell who the gentleman really was.
It wasn't written on his forehead, you know.
It might have been written on his pocket handkerchief. But Japanese don't use pocket handkerchiefs.
Ha ha ha! Ha ha! I forget the punishment for compassing the death of the heir apparent.
Punishment?
Yes! Punishment. Something lingering with boiling oil in it, I fancy. Something of that sort, with either boiling oil or melted lead. I know it's humorous, but lingering. Come, come, don't fret. I'm not a bit angry.
If your majesty will accept our assurance, we had no idea.
Of course.
I knew nothing about it.
I wasn't even there.
That's the pathetic part of it. The fool of an act says, compassing the death of the heir apparent, there's not a word about a mistake.
No.
Or not knowing,
No.
or having no notion,
No.
or not even being there.
No.
There should be, of course,
Yes.
but there isn't.
Oh.
That's the slovenly way in which these acts are always drawn. However, cheer up. I'll have it altered next session. Now, let's see about your execution. Will after luncheon suit you? Can you wait till then?
Oh, yes.
Yes, we can wait till then.
Ha ha ha. Ah, then we'll make it after luncheon.
I don't want any lunch.
I feel very, very sorry for you all. But virtue is only triumphant in theatrical performances. how their fates their gifts are lot. For A is happy, B is not. But B is worthy, I dare say, of more prosperity than A.
Is he more worthy?
I should say he's worth a great deal more than A.
Yet A is happy, oh so happy, laughing ha ha, chaffing ha ha, nectar quaffing ha ha ha, ever joyous, ever gay, happy undeserving A, ever joyous, ever gay, happy undeserving A. If I were fortune, which I'm not, B should enjoy A's happy lot, and A should die in misery. That is assuming I am B.
But should A perish,
That should he, of course, assuming I am B. B should be happy, oh so happy, laughing ha ha, chaffing ha ha, nectar quaffing ha ha ha, but condemned to die is he, wretched meritorious B. But condemned to die is he, wretched meritorious B.
For supposedly killing the son of the Mikado, Coco and his accomplices are declared guilty of compassing the death of the heir apparent. The only hope for them is to admit the falsehood of the affidavit and produce Nanki-Poo alive. But as Nanki-Poo has already married Yum-Yum, he cannot marry Katisha. Katisha will surely insist on the execution of both Nanki-Poo and Yum-Yum. Coco solves the problem when he falls in love with Katisha. He offers her his hand in marriage, and she accepts.
Well, a fine mess you've gotten us into, with your tales about offhand nods and deference due to a man of pedigree.
Merely corroborative detail intended to give artistic verisimilitude to an otherwise bald and unconvincing narrative.
Corroborative detail indeed. Corroborative fiddlestick.
And you're just as bad as he is, with your cock and bull stories about catching his eye and whistling an air. But that's so like you. You must put in your oar.
But how about your big right arm?
Yes, and your Snickers sneeze.
Well, never mind that right now. There's only one thing to be done. Nanki-Poo hasn't started off yet. He must come back to life. I say, Nanki-Poo, I have good news for you. You've been reprieved.
Oh, but it's too late. I'm a dead man, and I'm off on my honeymoon.
Nonsense. A terrible thing has just happened. It seems you're the son of the Mikado.
Yes, but that happened quite some time ago.
Is this time for airy persiflage? Your father is here. And with Katisha.
My father? And with Katisha?
Yes, and he wants you particularly.
So does she.
Oh, but he's married now.
But, bless my heart, what's that got to do with anything?
Katisha claims me in marriage, but I cannot marry her, for I am married already. Consequently, she will insist upon my immediate execution. And if I am to be executed, then, well, my wife would have to be buried alive.
You see our difficulty.
Yes, I don't know what's to be done.
There is one chance for you. If you could persuade Katisha to marry you, she would then have no further claim upon me. And I would be free to come back to life without any fear of being put to death.
I marry Katisha?
I really think it's the only course.
But my God, have you seen her? She's something appalling.
That is only her face. She has a left elbow which people come miles to see.
I am told that her right heel is much admired by connoisseurs.
My good sir, I decline to pin my affections upon any woman's right heel.
Sir, it comes to this. While Kadisha is single, I prefer to remain a disembodied spirit. Once she is married, however, existence will be as welcome as the flowers that bloom in the spring. The flowers that bloom in the spring, tra-la, breathe promise of merry sunshine. As we merrily dance and we sing, tra-la, we welcome the hope that they bring, tra-la, of a summer of roses and wine, of a summer of roses and wine. And that's what I mean when we say that a thing is welcome as flowers that bloom in the spring. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, the flowers that bloom in the spring. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la.
The flowers that bloom in the spring, tra-la, have nothing to do with the case. I've got to take under my wing, tra-la, a most unattractive old thing, tra-la, with a caricature of a face, with a caricature of a face. And that's what I mean when I say or I sing. Oh, bother the flowers that bloom in the spring, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la. Oh, bother the flowers of spring.
Tra-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la.
Alone and yet alive. Oh, sepulchre, my soul is still my body's prisoner. Remote the peace that death alone can give. My doom to wait, my punishment to live. Hearts do not break, they sing and ache for a wholesome sake, but do not die. Though with each breath they long for death, as witnesseth the living eye, the living eye, oh, living eye. Come tell me why, when hope is gone,
Kadisha!
The miscreant who robbed me of my love. But vengeance pursues. They are heating the cauldron.
Kadisha, behold a lovesick suppliant at your feet. Kadisha, mercy.
Mercy? Had you mercy on him? See here, you have slain my love. Well, he did not love me, but he would have loved me in time. I am an acquired taste. Only the educated palate can appreciate me. I was educating his palate when he left me, but now he is gone, and where shall I find another? It can take years to train a man to love me. Am I to go through that weary round again, and at the same time implore my mercy on you who have robbed me of my prey? I mean my pupil, just as his education was on the point of completion. Where shall I find another?
Here.
What?
Kadisha will. For years I have loved you with the white-hot passion that is slowly but surely consuming my very vitals. Shrink not from me. If there is aught of mercy in your woman's heart, turn not away from a lovesick suppliant whose every fiber thrills at your tiniest touch. True it is that, under a poor mask of disgust, I have endeavored to conceal a passion whose fires are broiling the soul within me. And the fires will not be put out. They defy all attempts at extinction, and breaking forth all the more eagerly for their long restraint, in words that cannot be weighed, that will not be taught, and that must not be too severely criticized. Kadisha, I dare not hope for your love, but I will not live without it. Darling.
You, whose hands still reek with the blood of my betrothed, dare to address such words of passion to a woman you have so foully wronged.
I do. Accept my love, or I perish on the spot.
Go to, who knows so well as I that no one ever yet died of a broken heart.
Kadisha, you know not what you say. Listen. On a tree by a river, a little tomtit sang willow, tit willow, tit willow. And I said to him, Dicky bird, why do you sit singing willow, tit willow, tit willow? Is it weakness of intellect, birdie, I cried, or a rather tough worm in your little inside? With a shake of his poor little head, he replied, oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow. He slapped at his chest as he sat on that bough, singing willow, tit willow, tit willow. And a cold perspiration bespangled his brow, oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow. He sobbed and he sighed and a gurgle he gave, then he plunged himself into the billowy wave, and an echo arose from the suicide's grave. Oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow. Now I'm just as sure as I'm sure that my name isn't willow, tit willow, tit willow. That was blighted affection that made him exclaim, oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow. And if you remain callous and obdurate, I shall perish as he did, and you will know why. Though I probably shall not exclaim as I die. Oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow. Yes, he really did.
All on account of that cruel little hen.
Yes.
Poor little chap.
Yes, it's quite an affecting tale. I knew the bird intimately.
Did you? He must have been very fond of her.
His devotion was something extraordinary.
And if I refuse you, will you do the same?
At once.
No, you mustn't anything but that. I'm a silly little goose, aren't I?
You are?
And you won't hate me just because I'm a teeny weeny itsy little bit bloodthirsty, will you?
Oh, no. Is there not beauty even in bloodthirstiness?
My idea exactly. There is beauty in the bellow of the blast. There is grandeur in the growling of the gale. There is eloquent outpouring when the lion is a-roaring and the tiger is a-lashing at his tail.
Yes, I like to see a tiger from the Congo or the Niger, and especially when lashing of his tail.
Volcanoes have a splendor that is grim, and earthquakes only terrify adults. But to him who's scientific, there is nothing that's terrific in the falling of the flight of thunderbolts.
Yes, in spite of all my meekness, if I have a little weakness, it's a passion for the flight of thunderbolts. If that is so, sing dairy down dairy, it's evident, very our tastes are one. Away we'll go and merrily marry, nor tardily tarry till day is done. There is beauty in extreme old age. Do you fancy you're elderly enough? Information I'm requesting on a subject interesting is a maiden all the better when she's tough.
On a slight dominion, it's the general opinion that she'll last a good deal longer when she's tough.
Are you old enough to marry, do you think? Won't you wait until you're 80 in the shade? There's a fascination frantic in a ruin that's romantic. Do you think you are sufficiently decayed?
To the matter that you mentioned, I have given some attention, and I think I am sufficiently decayed.
If that is so, sing dairy down dairy, it's evident, very our tastes are one. Away we'll go and merrily marry, nor tardily tarry till day is done. If that is so, sing dairy down dairy, it's evident, very our tastes are one. Away we'll go and merrily marry, nor tardily tarry till day is done. Sing dairy down dairy, we'll merrily marry, nor tardily tarry till day is done.
The end of the opera comes with Nanky Poo's return to Titty Poo. Coco and his supposed accomplices are spared of their lives. Coco and Cadishaw spend the rest of their lives together, enchanted with each other's shoulders and elbows. The Mikado and his son are reunited, and Nanky Poo and Yum Yum live happily ever after.
Now then, I'm back. And we're quite ready. Have all the painful preparations been made?
Your Majesty, all is in readiness.
Then produce the unfortunate gentleman and his two well-meaning but misguided accomplices.
Mercy! Mercy for Coco! Mercy for Pity Thing! Mercy even for Pooh-Bah.
Excuse me, I don't think I quite caught that remark.
Mercy even for Pooh-Bah.
Mercy, you see, my husband that was to have been is dead, and I've just married this miserable object.
Oh, you've not been long about it.
Well, we were married before the registrar.
I am the registrar.
I see. But my trouble is that, as you have slain the heir apparent...
But the heir apparent is not slain, Your Majesty.
Bless my heart, my son.
And your daughter-in-law elected.
Traitor! You have deceived me!
Yes, Kadisha, you are entitled to a little explanation, but I'm sure he'll give it better whole than in pieces.
Well, Your Majesty, it's like this. It is true I stated I had killed Nankipu.
With most affecting particulars.
Merely corroborative detail intended to give
Will you
artistic
refrain from putting in your oar? You see, Your Majesty, it's like this. When Your Majesty says, let a thing be done, it is as good as done. Practically, it is done, because Your Majesty's word is law. Consequently, when Your Majesty says, kill a man is told off to be killed, and he is as good as dead. Practically, he is dead. And if he is dead, why not say so?
I see. Nothing could be more satisfactory.
For he's gone and married Yum Yum.
Yum Yum.
Your anger pray bury, for all will be merry. I think you had better succumb.
Come.
And join our expressions of glee.
On this subject I pray you be dumb.
Dum.
Your notions, though many, are not worth a penny. The word for your guidance is mum.
Mum.
You've a very good bargain in me.
On this subject we pray you be dumb. We think you had better succumb. Come. You'll find there are many who went for a penny, There are lots of good fish in the sea, There's lots of good fish, good fish in the sea. There's lots of good fish, good fish in the sea, in the sea.
The threatened cloud has passed away. What though the night may come too soon? Then let the throng of joy advance with laughing song and merry dance.
Let the throng of joy advance with laughing song and merry dance, with laughing song and merry dance,
With laughing song.
with joyous shout and ringing cheer. Inaugurate their new career. With joyous shout and ringing cheer. Inaugurate their new career. With joyous shout and ringing cheer. Inaugurate their new career. With song and dance. With song and dance.
For he's gone and married Yum Yum. Your anger pray bury, for all will be merry. I think you had better succumb. And join our expressions of glee.
On this subject I pray you be dumb. Your notions, though many, are not worth a penny. The word for your guidance is mum. You've a very good bargain in me.
On this subject we pray you be dumb. We think you had better succumb. Come. You'll find there are many who went for a penny, There are lots of good fish in the sea, There's lots of good fish, good fish in the sea. There's lots of good fish, good fish in the sea.
The threatened cloud has passed away. What though the night may come too soon? Then let the throng of joy advance with laughing